Hi, my name is Pam Hall and this is Earth News. Today's guest is Karen Thurlow from the Midland Conservation District. Karen, could you please tell us a little bit about the Conservation District?
Hey Pam, thanks for having me on your show. And what's your show about anyway? What are you doing your show for?
My show is about the education of what is going on in our planet right now. And so the Midland Conservation District is a great place to start because it is a local, Karen is the administrator of this local chapter, and it is very important to understand the full encompassing problem that we have right now with our environment. And Karen is actually doing something to address these problems.
All right, so
Could you please tell us a little bit about the history of the Midland Conservation District?
I can. Conservation districts were started back when the Dust Bowl happened. Hugh Bennett Hammond is the founder of the Soil Water Conservation Districts. He was a farmer and he decided that we needed better farming practices. So that's where it all came from. Farmers were just farming the land, they weren't putting anything back into it, and he saw that as becoming a big problem. Along with our founding fathers like President Washington, John Adams, a lot of them were farmers and they had good conservation practices when they farmed. So it's where it all came from, where it all started was back in the early 30s, I think it was, and might be wrong there, but from the Dust Bowl. So every county in Michigan, with the exception of maybe a couple, have conservation districts, and we help landowners put conservation practices on their property. So I work a lot with the Natural Resource Conservation Service, which has programs for farmers that help plant wildlife habitat. We do filter strips, we do no-till farming where they do not till in between their crops. So they plant soybeans, they plant corn, they plant wheat, and they do not till the soil because that helps keep the good bacterias and the good things
nutrients.
we need. Yeah, the good things we need in the soil. Your soil has to be healthy. And we've done a lot in the past 50 years to really deplete our soils. So we're finding that in the nutritional value of the food, yes, that we've added too many chemicals, so we're hurting our food system and we're hurting our planet with all of our chemical conservation practices.
And it is also affecting our health.
Yes, it is.
We are the end users, and it is a concern of Earth News and those that support Earth News that 150 species go extinct every year based on human activity, and there will be more on this in the future.
Cool. And we're having problems with our bees too. A lot of people, the honeybees are dying out because we have too much pollution. We're stressing them out and they're not able to survive like they used to. So we're having a big population drop of the honeybees, which should be very concerning because it all has to do with pollution and the chemicals that we're using in our farms, on our lawns too. If you have a lawn, please don't fertilize and spray. That's the worst thing you can do. Plant food in your lawn.
Absolutely. And I was just at MSU last night with a group that was trying to understand the Green New Deal. And that has to do with a lot of what we're talking about with conservation and the earth, as well as human rights. And the Sunshine Movement was just talking about that very thing that you were mentioning.
Well, you look at all of our lakes and all of our, like Lake Erie is a good example. I was down there with the family at Cedar Point, and I was looking at the water and I was going, wow, that's a pretty green color. That looks really cool. And then I noticed also that as it broke on shore, it was dark brown. So what I was really looking at was the algae bloom on the lake, and Lake Erie is really bad. So every time you fertilize your lawn, every time the farmer puts fertilizers on their fields, if there's not precautions taken, it ends up in our water system, and it's really becoming a problem. That green stuff you see on the top of a pond or a lake is not a natural thing.
Yes, and it's affecting a lot of the indigenous peoples and their lands and so forth in their fight to preserve the land. They've been good stewards of the earth, and we are turning to them now for their wisdom and help and trying to save the planet. We had 12 years last year. It is now down to 11 years before we hit a point of no return. Action needs to be taken on a local, state, national, and international level to save the planet.
Yep, I agree. I went to a water health of the Great Lakes Bay seminar or a convention a couple years ago, and they said our number one pollutant in the Great Lakes water are the hand sanitizer chemicals. So people who are going around using hand sanitizer, and they're thinking they're doing something good, they're basically not, because you're ruining your immunity to the bacterias and you're ruining the water when you wash your hands.
Absolutely, and the microbeads that are in the pillows and so forth, and then the scrubs, the facial scrubs, those get into the water supply, and the indigenous creatures cannot process them, and they die. And that is in our direct line of our food chain. Karen, what other programs does the Midland Conservation District have?
Okay, well, besides working for the Natural Resource Conservation Service, we also have a farm tour in the fall that we've done for 32 years this year. We bring the 4th grade students from all the Midland County schools to a farm out in Porter Township, and they get to spend the day on the farm, and it's really cool. So we do that, and we also have our tree sale, which is happening right here, right now as we speak. And we're getting really lucky that all the customers have come earlier because it's been a little crazy today. But we do this tree sale. We've done this tree sale ever since the Conservation District was started. It is one of our biggest fundraisers for the year. We used to use a barn on Olson Road that was leased from the county for 30 years, and we lost that lease when the Conservation District closed in 2012. So I started with the Conservation District in 2014 as a board member. I became the administrator in 2015. We sold the building that we had in Sanford for startup money to pay some of the bills that were left from the other district. We've been trying to get use of the barn from the county, and they didn't want us to use it anymore. So we finally came up with trying to buy it. So we negotiated with them for a couple months. We finally got a package deal with them, and we got the vote of 6 of the 7 commissioners. That happened back in September of 2018, and we're still waiting on a closing date. So we had to rent this bar, or this garage is what we did. We rented a garage for our sale because I was doing it out of the parking lot, out of a U-Haul van, because the fairgrounds wasn't open. There were really no, I put feelers out for the last 5 years for a location to do this, and nobody wants to give up a space. So what I did this year is called a realtor, and she found me a nice garage to do it out of. So I'm really appreciative for that.
Awesome. Because
it actually costs us money if we, if I don't have a good place to do this, we don't make as much as we should, So last year I donated a lot of trees to the Chippewa Nature Center. This year I've donated trees to Northwood. Some of the schools, I donated trees to the Coleman High School for them to plant. And, so it's really nice. I hope we can get that barn taken care of soon, and I hope that we can get the use of it again, or it'll be our barn,
Right, it's awesome work that you're doing, and I hope that the public watching this hears the need. Karen could use the support. She's had some losses. A lot of trees died last year as she was schlepping them around from vehicle to vehicle in the heat, trying to find a place to put them, and ended up donating the ones that survived. So if you are interested in supporting the Midland Conservation District, please get a hold of Karen Thurlow and you want to give the number?
The number is 989-486-2325. I'm only working part-time right now because our funding is low. And, like I said, our tree sale could be 10 times what it is if we had that barn and a really good space to do it, but there's just nothing available. So that's why we wanted the barn. And when we do get the barn, if we do get the barn, I'm not going to count those chickens before they hatch. We just hope it turns out right. we'll do educational workshops for children. We want to open it up. We want to have native flowers for identification. You know, there's just so many things we can do out there, and we want to make it a community. What do I want to say? A community asset, because that's what it is.
It's a community
Old
asset,
barns
so-
are really cool. This is a really cool old barn. We have secured all the donations we need to purchase the barn and repair the roof, and you know, so it's all right there at our reach, and I'm just really excited about
Well,
it.
I'm excited for you. Would you mind showing our viewers your wonderful T-shirt? These are available for sale.
Conservation
And
matters.
How much are you asking for donations?
They're $10.
And that's very reasonable, folks. These are quality shirts. I have one myself, and it will help the proceeds for the expenses of the Midland Conservation District. And there are many, and you can see that Karen has dedicated herself in countless hours to helping provide trees, living trees that replenish our air, provide fresh oxygen, and as well as homes for wildlife.
We are water, we are all one. It connects and sustains us all, every living thing. Every polar bear and every single bee, flowing through our veins and flowing to the sea. We are one. We are water, water is life. We are one. We are water, water is life. Money means nothing without a drop to drink. Crops can't grow without that precious link. Water is the key to life, it always needs to be. Above all else, our most protected legacy. We are one. We are water, water is life. We are one. We are water, water is life. Check the water, save our Great Lakes. Check the water, save our city of Flint. Protect the water, save our Standing Rock. We are one. We are water, water is life. We are one. We are water, water is life. We are one. We are water, water is life. We are one. We are water, water is life. We are one. We are water, water is life. Money means nothing save our Great Lakes. Protect the water, save our city of Flint. Protect the water, save our Standing Rock. We are one, we are water, water is life. We are one, we are water, water is life. We are one, we are water, water is life. We are one, we are water, water is life.